It's midnight and you're tuned in to Nightline with me, Liyana Hassanel. The top stories. King orders Defense Ministry to scrap Black Hawk purchase plan. And 3 million ringgit immediate allocation for CCTV installation in selected boarding schools. Good morning. Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Ibrahim has ordered the Defense Ministry, MINDEF, to scrap its plan to procure Black Hawk helicopters that are more than 30 years old. The king also expressed regret that the ministry has been entangled with middlemen, including former generals who attempted to sell outdated military assets at prices above market value. As the Supreme Commander of the Malaysian Armed Forces, Sultan Ibrahim also warned MINDEF not to repeat past mistakes in defence procurement.
Jangan ulang kesilapan dahulu. Apabila kita beli pesawat second hand Skyhawk, adakah kita nak letak juruterbang kita dalam keranda terbang? Awak fikirlah sendiri.
His Majesty delivered the stern reminder to MINDEF in his royal address during the 60th anniversary parade of the Special Forces Regiment at Kem Iskandar in Mersing, Johor on Saturday. In March, it was reported that MINDEF planned to reopen the tender for the leasing of UH-60 Black Hawk helicopters for use by the Malaysian Army. Several companies were said to have submitted proposals offering to supply the helicopters.
Saya percaya semua ini berlaku kerana di Kementerian Pertahanan penuh dengan ejen-ejen atau bekas jeneral yang menjadi salesman, malah ada syarikat penjual kain pun masuk hendak menjual drone. Kalau semua pembelian kena ikut harga orang tengah, maka peruntukan yang ada tidak akan cukup.
Sultan Ibrahim also instructed the government to ensure that all military asset procurements are carried out with due diligence, based on market value and genuine operational needs. In his royal address, Sultan Ibrahim also called for an end to the purchase of military assets that are either irrelevant or overpriced. He emphasized that such practices not only cause losses, but also waste public funds.
Jangan buang masa beli barang yang meripik dan tidak sesuai dengan keperluan tentera. Kalau tidak tahu harga, tanya saya dulu.
In response to Sultan Ibrahim's call for MINDEF to stop wasteful procurements, Defence Minister Datuk Sri Muhammad Khalid Nordin gave his assurance that MINDEF will ensure that the modernization of defence assets aligns with the needs of the armed forces. In a social media post on Saturday, Khalid stated that this includes assets for the Special Forces Regiment. He also expressed gratitude to His Majesty for attending the celebration. Malaysia's ability to act as a mediator in regional peace processes, including the border conflict between Thailand and Cambodia, has gained international recognition. Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim emphasized that this success was the result of collaborative efforts across multiple government agencies, rather than a personal accomplishment. Anwar highlighted that the success of the Thailand-Cambodia peace process relied on the efforts of several agencies, including the Foreign Ministry, the Malaysian Armed Forces and the police. He noted that this achievement also underscores Malaysia's economic progress and political stability, strengthening its reputation as a respected and trusted strategic partner.
Bila ada pergaduhan diserah, usaha perdamaian itu dengan kita. Satu dunia iktiraf. Walaupun beberapa orang di Parlimen pemakai tak mau iktiraf, tak apa. Walaupun ada sikit sekarang ni itiraf sedikit. Tapi yang penting apa? Bila kita capai itu untuk apa? Pertama gini, yang capai itu apa? Sebab PM Anwar, tak betul. Dia pasukan kita.
Anwar made the remarks when opening the Madani Dairy Entrepreneur Carnival in Larut, Perak on Saturday. On July 28th, Thailand and Cambodia agreed to an immediate, unconditional ceasefire, following a special meeting in Putrajaya, chaired by Anwar in his capacity as ASEAN chair. Both countries also agreed to convene a meeting of the General Border Committee, GBC, as part of implementing the ceasefire agreement. At a separate event, the Prime Minister stated that the government's commitment to good governance and fighting corruption has shown results, with seizures totaling up to 5 billion ringgit over the past year.
Di semua agensi, dari orang politiknya, ke jabatan kementeriannya, dari immigrationnya, kepada customnya, berapa kita kumpul? Sudah, dalam ini, setahun ini dah, 4-5 bilion wang yang dirampas daripada hasil rasuah yang dirampas. Maknanya kecekapan, kesungguhan kita bertindak untuk membersihkan.
Speaking at the groundbreaking ceremony of the Ipoh Central Project, Anwar stressed that outdated practices that tie mega projects to commissions and bribes are no longer acceptable in the era of the Madani government. Instead, development projects must be implemented transparently and provide direct benefits to the people. The Prime Minister also emphasized that the government is now prioritizing efforts to improve citizens' living standards, including adjustments to public sector wages. He added that the move is expected to set an example for government-linked companies to also enhance the welfare of their employees. The Education Ministry has approved a 3 million ringgit allocation for the installation of closed-circuit television CCTV systems in selected boarding schools. The initiative will be implemented immediately and will be gradually expanded to cover all boarding schools nationwide. The ministry, in a Facebook post on Saturday, stated that the move is part of its ongoing efforts to strengthen monitoring in educational institutions under its management. It added that the initiative also aims to prevent undesirable incidents and create a safe and conducive environment for all students. Previously, Education Director General Dr. Muhammad Azam Ahmad said the ministry would enhance safety features in schools, particularly boarding schools, to curb bullying incidents. The government's move to install CCTV cameras in boarding school dormitories is viewed as a positive step toward enhancing school safety. However, Alliance for a Safe Community Chairman Tan Sri Lee Lam Thai cautioned that technology alone cannot solve the problem of bullying.
While steps have been taken to install more CCTVs in the school classrooms, it is not enough. What needs to be done is to introduce anti-bullying policies in the schools with clearly defined guidelines to prevent acts of bullying.
He also said there is a need to promote a positive school culture by encouraging respect and discipline among students. Meanwhile, National Union of the Teaching Profession NUTP Secretary General Fauzi Senggan welcomed the initiative but reminded that the scope of protection must extend beyond boarding schools. He stressed that while CCTVs may improve supervision, the appointment of full-time wardens remain crucial to monitor students' movements and ensure discipline. In a related development, a disciplinary investigation will be conducted against 3 police officers serving in Sabah who were involved in the initial investigation into the death of Form 1 student Zara Khairina Mahathir. Deputy Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Ayub Khan Maidin Piche said that a team from the Bukit Aman Integrity and Standards Compliance Department, GIPS, will be dispatched to the state soon to record statements from the 3 officers. Ayub Khan stated that the investigation will be conducted against the district police chief, holding the rank of superintendent, the head of the Criminal Investigation Division, CID, holding the rank of assistant superintendent, and the investigating officer, holding the rank of inspector. They are suspected of non-compliance with standard operating procedures, SOPs, during the investigation into the case. Ayub Khan also said that strict action will be taken against any investigating officers and supervisors who fail to carry out their supervisory responsibilities and ensure a thorough investigation. Last Wednesday, Bukit Aman CID Director Dato M. Kumar said that the initial findings of the Federal Police Task Force revealed elements of non-compliance with investigation procedures during the early probe into Zara Khairina's death, including the failure of the investigating officer to apply for a post-mortem examination. Meanwhile, a TikTok user who claimed to be a surgeon involved in Zara Khairina's post-mortem has been confirmed not to be a medical specialist, as alleged. Communications Minister Datuk Fahmi Fadzal stated that the various pieces of information shared by the individual during a TikTok live session regarding the case are also baseless. According to Fahmi, the police, together with the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission, MCMC, are investigating the true identity of the individual involved, as well as tracking them for possible action for spreading misinformation and causing public confusion.
Dan saya dimaklumkan perkara ini oleh beberapa pakar forensik dan polis untuk pengesahan. Individu tersebut bukan pakar forensik dan semua info yang dia war-warkan adalah info palsu.
Since Wednesday, content from the individual has gone viral, in which he claimed to have been present during Zara Khairina's post-mortem on August 10th. The police are investigating the case under the Sedition Act, the Penal Code, and the Communications and Multimedia Act for the improper use of network facilities and services, as well as for potentially inciting hatred and causing public anxiety. Starting next year, members of Parliament will be asked to channel a portion of their allocations towards the purchase of uniforms for the Malaysian Civil Defence Force, or APM, and their respective constituencies. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said the move aims to strengthen the uniformed force while also attracting greater participation from new members.
Kita telah galakkan untuk penyertaan mereka di semua kementeriannya. Begitu juga semua ahli-ahli parlimen.
Zahid told this to reporters after officiating the 16th National Civil Defence Students Corps graduation parade and commissioning in Shah Alam, Selangor on Saturday. He pointed out that the APM was the next line of national security after the armed forces and police. Its training equipped members with resilience, discipline, and the strong character needed to face emergencies and safeguard the nation. As global markets struggle with inflation and geopolitical fault lines, Malaysia is charting its own course through the 13th Malaysia Plan, a 611 billion ringgit blueprint to redefine national development. Malaysian Institute of Economic Research MIER non-resident senior fellow Datuk K. Yogisvaran said that while the targets are ambitious, especially in an age of uncertainty marked by global trade tensions and tariff shocks, they are still within reach.
Given that the 4.5% to 5.5% growth target is something very decent, very good actually. And if you talk about growth levers, if you look at the figures, you find that most of the growth is going to be driven by the private expenditure.
Yogisvaran said this while appearing as a guest on TV3's flagship business and financial talk show Money Matters, aired on Saturday. While critics say the plan is packed with mega projects but short on policy reforms, Yogisvaran pointed to high-value, high-growth industries as areas where real change is already taking shape, from talks of digitalization and advancing technologies to a stronger emphasis on governance and social justice.
For the first time, we're talking so much about governance. That's a real policy shift. And we're talking about, we talk about social justice. These are really new things. This embed a real change in the way we're thinking.
One killed in lorry tank explosion. This and more from the local front after this breather.
Ada drama baru lah kat Facebook. Nak download lah tu. Ingat jangan download ataupun share laman web cetak rompak. Jangan.
Hai kawan-kawan, kawan-kawan pernah tak rasa tak selesa bila ada orang cuba sentuh badan kita? Kawan-kawan ingat tahu badan kita ni milik kita. Kalau ada orang sentuh tapi izin, korang cakap tidak. Lepas tu korang bagi tahu ibu bapa ataupun cikgu ataupun kakak dan abang, okey?
Betul tu. Ingat, tak ada orang yang boleh buat kita rasa takut dan tak selesa. Kita berhak rasa selamat dan dilindungi.
Telinga tak ada lubang, tulang bengkok, tangan pun bengkok, buah pinggang cuma satu, jantung cuma ada 2 saluran sahaja. Mula tahu yang orang rumah sakit, saya dah pasrah je lah. Tak boleh nak kata apalah. Itu semua ketentuan Allah Ta'ala kan. Bergantung pada saya lah sepenuhnya sekarang ni. Pasal apa dia tak boleh buat apa-apa.
Wanita hebat mampu cipta kejayaan sendiri hingga dunia turut terpesona.
Hutan kita merupakan medan mereka buat penyelidikan. Bagi saya, botani ini adalah sesuatu yang boleh menenangkan jiwa.
Saya secara mengejut masuk dalam industri, pernah kena kecam di mana saya salah bual dalam interview secara live. Berpuluh ribu komen. Saya macam menangis tau. Macam ni ke hidup seorang?
Avian ni, dia pakai ragdoll, karakter lembut and senang nak engage dengan orang.
Welcome back. The smuggling syndicate involving several senior armed forces officers crippled recently under Ops Sohor was dismantled with the support of Johor Regent Tunku Ismail Sultan Ibrahim's networks. Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki said Tunku Ismail had given his full cooperation in the matter to help eradicate smuggling through the borders.
Tunku Mahkota Johor sebagai pemangku sultan dalam hal ini amat bekerjasama dan mahu perkara ini dimenteras dan banyak juga kita dapat maklumat-maklumat yang kami perolehi daripada hasil daripada networking pada Tunku Mahkota Johor.
Speaking to the media at an event in Cyberjaya on Saturday, Azam added that so far the syndicate is believed to be concentrated only in the southern region and no new arrests have been made. Previously, it was reported that 10 individuals were arrested around the Klang Valley. Among them, 3 senior armed forces officers and 2 former military officers turned journalists. They are alleged to have been part of a syndicate smuggling contraband, including drugs from a neighboring country, raking in about 5 million ringgit a month. Police have arrested 4 men aged between 20 and 57 over a roadside brawl involving 7 people in Jasin, Malacca. The incident, believed to have occurred around 9 a.m. on Friday along Jalan Jasin, Bemban, was triggered after a 3-vehicle accident. A 39-second video that went viral on social media showed a chase and a violent clash involving several men wielding wooden sticks and cables. Following the brawl, 5 suspects fled the scene in another vehicle, although its registration number has yet to be identified. Police officers who were alerted to the incident arrested 2 suspects at the scene, while 2 others were detained later at the Jasin District Police Headquarters. 3 other suspects remain at large. The case is being investigated under Section 148 of the Penal Code for rioting with weapons. A man was killed while another was injured when a lorry tank they were wielding exploded at a workshop in Rantau, Negeri Sembilan on Saturday. The 1:15 p.m. incident occurred at Batu Enam, Kampung Belangkan, Kuala Sawah. The deceased has been identified as 33-year-old lorry driver Anjaya Gobinath, while the injured victim is 40-year-old workshop assistant Suhardi Labadu. According to the Fire and Rescue Department, both victims were carrying out welding work on a valve atop the lorry tank, which was empty at the time when it suddenly exploded. The blast hurled both men nearly 3 meters into the air, almost hitting the workshop roof. The lorry driver was pronounced dead by a medical team at the scene. His body was then sent to Rembau Hospital for post-mortem. The other victim sustained minor injuries and was taken to Tuanku Jafar Hospital for treatment. A hazmat team was also dispatched to carry out air monitoring around the workshop to ensure the surrounding environment remained safe. The cause of the explosion is still under investigation. Sean Kingston sentenced to 3 years in prison. The details when Nightline comes back.
Telinga tak ada lubang, tulang bengkok, tangan pun bengkok, buah pinggang cuma satu, jantung cuma ada 2 saluran sahaja. Mula tahu yang orang rumah sakit, saya dah pasrah je lah. Tak boleh nak kata apalah. Itu semua ketentuan Allah Ta'ala kan. Bergantung pada saya lah sepenuhnya sekarang ni. Pasal apa dia tak boleh buat apa-apa.
Setiap kali tas tu memang agak struggle lah saya sebab nak training dengan tekanan. Sebab kita main dengan teknikal, macam risiko boleh jadi.
Sebelum tu saya buat event biasa iaitu double horse and jockey. Ketika depan audien, depan VIP saya jatuh. Melibatkan bahu kiri saya tercabut lah. Berdebar tu setiap kali membuat persembahan mesti ada perasaan tu lah.
Tanyalah Ustaz minggu ini, Isnin, jodoh rahsia Allah. Selasa, solat dan waktunya bahagian 2. Rabu, kifarah si pencuri online. Khamis, atasi cinta duniawi. Jumaat, normalisasi maksiat. Ahad, kenapa kucing? Tanyalah Ustaz biar tahu, jangan keliru di TV3 dan TV9. Stream juga di Tonton.
Unlocking the future of business.
From industry evolutions to policy changes, we go beyond the headline.
Deep insights, sharp analysis.
Understanding the forces driving tomorrow's economy.
Key financial insights that drive decisions.
This is Money Matters, every Saturday, 5 p.m.
Only on TV3 and stream now on Tonton.
Onto the foreign front. Thailand's lower house of parliament passed a $117 billion annual budget needed to support a fragile economy that's at risk from issues ranging from the impact of higher U.S. tariffs to a downturn in tourism. The budget bill for the year starting October 1st was backed by 257 lawmakers in the 500-member House of Representatives late Friday, following a 3-day debate. A total of 229 members opposed the spending plan. The vote will be a relief to investors in the Southeast Asian nation by avoiding a repeat of the months-long deadlock over spending plans seen in 2019. Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky will head to Washington on Monday to discuss ending the killing and the war with U.S. President Donald Trump. Zelensky announced this on Saturday after a call with Trump, who briefed him on key points from his talks with Russia's Vladimir Putin in Alaska. Trump's talks with Putin ended with no ceasefire announcement or apparent breakthrough to end Moscow's more than 3-year-long invasion. The day after the U.S.-Russia summit, Zelensky called for Kyiv's European allies to be involved at every stage of future talks and reiterated his readiness for a trilateral meeting with Trump and Putin, a proposal Kyiv supports, but the Kremlin continues to resist. Hundreds of flights have been grounded after Air Canada's unionized flight attendants went on strike after talks over an increase in wages with the country's largest carrier stalled. Canadian Union of Public Employees, representing more than 10,000 Air Canada flight attendants, confirmed the 72-hour industrial action on Saturday morning. Following this, the airline announced that it had suspended all flights operated by Air Canada and its budget subsidiary Air Canada Rouge, affecting approximately 130,000 passengers for each day the strike continues. Flight attendants are currently only paid while the aircraft is in motion, and the union is demanding additional compensation for the time spent on the ground between flights and assisting passengers during boarding. At least 60 people will face prosecution for showing support for the recently proscribed Palestine Action Group, in addition to 3 already charged. London's Metropolitan Police said on Friday that arrangements have been put in place to enable the force to investigate and prosecute significant numbers each week if necessary. Since the July 7th ban, over 700 people have been detained at peaceful protests, including 522 last weekend for holding signs supporting the group. The initial 3 prosecutions earlier this month stemmed from arrests during a July demonstration, with defendants charged under the Terrorism Act. Convictions for such offences could carry sentences of up to 6 months in prison, along with other penalties. American rapper Sean Kingston has been sentenced to 3.5 years in federal prison in a $1 million fraud scheme. Born Keyshawn Anderson, the Beautiful Girls singer was convicted earlier this year, along with his mother, Janice Turner, in a wire fraud scheme where they stole luxury items, including watches, a 232-inch LED TV, a bulletproof Cadillac Escalade, and furniture. Prosecutors on Friday said Kingston and his mother exploited his celebrity status to obtain products, then sent fake wire receipts instead of making payments. Turner was sentenced in July to 5 years in prison. Both of them were arrested in 2024 following a SWAT team raid on Kingston's rented mansion in suburban Fort Lauderdale. Switching to sports now, football, the FA Cup. 3 rounds of 16 matches were played on Saturday. Selangor FC secured a 3-1 win over Malaysian University MUFT. Johor Darul Takzim JDT cruised to a dominant 5-0 victory against University Malaya Damansara United, while Brunei DPMM FC edged Kuching City FC with a hard-fought 3-2 win. At the Petaling Jaya City Council Stadium, Selangor FC needed just 4 minutes to open the scoring, with Faisal Halim cleverly finishing Alif Izwan Yuslan's pass. Alvin Fortes extended the lead in the 24th minute with a powerful finish from inside the penalty area, before Faisal hammered the ball into the roof of the net from close range just before halftime to make it 3-0. Just when the Red Giants looked set to seal the win, Aiman Daniel struck a consolation goal in the 82nd minute to deny Selangor a clean sheet. Turning to squash now, the 2025 40th National Championships. The women's category final will witness a highly anticipated clash between national players and sisters Aifa and Ira Osman as they compete for the championship title on Sunday. Defending champion Ira continued her impressive form, cruising past Goja Schwan 11-4, 11-6, 11-6 in just 17 minutes during the women's semi-finals on Saturday. Meanwhile, 23-year-old Aifa was just as ruthless, cruising Yashmita Jadish Kumar 11-8, 11-4, 11-4 after 19 minutes to set up a repeat of last year's title clash. The final will add another chapter to their ongoing rivalry, with Ira having won their most recent meeting in May on her way to securing the Bermuda Open title. In the men's category, the final will see world number 130 Duncan Lee take on world number 68 Sanjay Jiva. Third seed Duncan delivered a commanding performance to upset C. Ami Shenraj 11-8, 11-6, 11-5 in just 33 minutes, while top seed Sanjay was made to work hard first place in the final, overcoming Joachim Chua 12-14, 11-6, 12-10, 11-6 in a grueling 63-minute battle. And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look at the thousands of Pokemon fans who flocked to Anaheim, California for the World Championships, where players from around 50 countries compete in card and video game battles for over $2 million in prizes. And with that, I'm Liyana Hassanel. Thank you for watching, and be well, Malaysia.